Welcome to this webcast, which will introduce two case studies on the implementation of feed-in tariff in developing countries. We have chosen for this webcast two countries, Mauritius and Kenya. Mauritius is a small island of 1.3 million inhabitants, which aims to gain greater energy autonomy with energy efficiency and a target of 35% of renewable by 2028. It has already promoted biogas cogeneration, which today counts for 18% of overall capacity. What are the features of feed-in tariff in Mauritius? Generation for biogas is excluded because it has already been promoted. The feed-in tariff is targeting in priority end users who are already connected to the grid with system of a maximum size of 50 kW. Net metering is included. Only electricity not used by households can be sold, though this is done to encourage them to do energy efficiency. This feed-in tariff comes with high cost because it is targeting small systems, but it is funded by a carbon tax on fossil fuels, which is channeled through the newly created Maurice Île Durable Fund, so the costs are not borne by electricity users. What are the outputs? 20 projects are in the pipeline. The 2 MW of extra capacity has been reached in 4 months. So one can consider it as a success, and the cap has already been increased to 5 MW, and commercial plants above 5 MW are now allowed. Now there are still barriers. One of them, a lack of local expertise, which is addressed by the government by the development of specific training in national education curriculum. Case of Kenya. Kenya is a country which has known a very important increase of the demand of electricity. This is linked to the electrification rate, which went from 14% in 2000 to 30% of the population, 2011. More than half of the electricity is generated from hydropower, but it is a country which knows very intense drought, and so more and more often the gap in the demand is met by thermal generation, which is very costly. Promotion till yet has been on emphasized large-scale projects by the state-owned company, so the feed-in tariff is there to promote renewable energies like geothermal and small-scale generation. What are the features of the feed-in tariff? Well, there have been several versions of the feed-in tariff in Kenya. The first version has been heavily criticized. The tariffs were too low for private investors who have to pay higher interest rate for their loan, and only few technologies were included: wind, biomass, small hydro. In a second version, 2010, solar PV, biogas, geothermal have been added and the tariff have been increased. But grid connection was still paid by developer, and tariffs in this feed-in tariff are not fixed but negotiated for each project, which introduce very lengthy delay. Actually, the tariff in the refit are just maximum tariff, which include actual cost for developer plus a rate of return, and there is a distinction made between tariff for firm power and non-firm power. Firm when there is a fixed amount of electricity agreed in the contract, which needs to be provided by the renewable energy developer. What are the outputs? A total of more than 2,000 MW of capacity have been approved, but only 2 projects have seen their PPA signed under the refit: a 5 MW geothermal plant and a 900 to 20 kW small hydro plant. There are some limits. Obvious one is the absence of standardized PPA, a minimum project size which is set at a far too high level, and tariff for solar too low compared to other African countries. So there has been another revision of the refit in 2012, and this time it includes a standardized PPA, and there are discussions about introducing net metering. What are the lessons from the two case studies and other case studies from developing countries? Well, in the particular context of developing countries, it is very important to simplify to the maximum administrative procedure to reduce the rate and the delays for developers. Now there is a very high number of feed-in tariff in the world, which tends to create competition between countries and between developing countries, and when tariffs are set too low, that they do not generate interest from international investors. A carbon tax can be introduced. It's a way to lower the impact on consumer of feed-in tariff.